Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today's session about flashpoint, right? I think you all have referred that lab sheet from that LMS, right? I assume like that. So still 15 people. There are a lot more to come. I don't know what is happening. So, but time is 1:14. So we'll wait for 1 minute and then we'll start. So it is about flashpoint analysis, right? So it is about this practical is about testing and find out the flashpoint of the fuels, right? There are different type of fuels we are using, right? A lot of fuels, and also we can use this experiment to fuel oil also, right? Fuel oil, so lubricating oil, so we can use to find out this flashpoint, right? So there are two practicals regarding this flashpoint analysis. So, and first one is we are going to determine the flashpoint for the diesel oil, right? Today's session about that diesel fuel oil, diesel oil. So not diesel oil, diesel fuel. And for the next week, next Monday, we'll have session about deriving the flashpoint for the petrol, right? Petrol fuel, right? So they have divided into two, right? Flashpoint analysis fuels 1, flashpoint analysis for of fuel 2, right? So we don't have any separate. We are not going to demonstrate here, right? So therefore, I somehow I divided into. I have prepared PowerPoint presentation and divided for two practical sessions. So today is about diesel fuel, right? So, and within this session, we'll find out how we will test the flashpoint, and we'll check a little theory, and briefly I will explain what is flashpoint, what is fire point, and all things. And then later there are one apparatus we are using to find out derive this flashpoint or fire point, right, for the fuels. So I will explain about that. It's still 16 people, right? I don't know what's going to happen for other participants, right? Other students. I don't know what is going to happen. So please explain them. I will upload the video. That doesn't matter, but I'll have that attendance, right? For first practical and also this practical, and for the other practicals also. I'll take the attendance and I will have it, because when I correct your lab reports, I may consider those things. So it should be very important to attend this practical session. I think you all understood. Still coming, I don't know. So we left enough time. So it should be you should be on time, right? I don't know what's okay. 18 people. Okay, 18 of you here. So we'll start. Okay, all of you can see this slide clearly. Someone speak, and it's better to talk with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, very good.
Yes,
so this is about the flashpoint analysis, right? Flashpoint is one temperature which which change according to the fuel type, right? So there are very lot of application for to find out this why we need to find out this flash point. You can ask, right? That is very important, though it is those things will cover in the next practicals. Okay, applications and uses of flash point, why we measure or find out flash point for the different oils or fuel oils or different fuels, right? So it is it's help us to it is one of the reason to find out the flash point is safety, right? If you don't know the flash point, then if you don't know the flash point and we are using that fuel, mean we are taking risk, right? It can anytime it can be past that flash point temperature, we don't know, right? Then it can burn off, it can blast, right? So therefore it is very important to obtain or find out the flash point of any flammable fuels, right? Fuels of any oils, right? So in that second session, we will deeply go into the applications and those the safety procedures and applications of regarding this flash point analysis. We'll go into deep and talk in the second session. So in this first session, we are going to look into the how we are going to test and find out the flash point for the diesel fuel, right? We are going to find out the flash point for the diesel fuel, right? I have already done this practical in our laboratory, and I recorded video and I have here. So after explaining about apparatus and everything, I will show you, play the video, and later you will, if you have any doubt, you can ask and you can discuss with me, right? So okay, 21. Okay, so objective of this one, this session is about find or determine the flash point, right? Flash point of the diesel fuel. So that is our objective for today's session. So and let's go and see what is flash point, right? What is flash point, right? So right, what is flash point, right? We are talking about flash point, and some of you can confuse with flash point and fire point, right? So that I will explain the what are the flash point, what are the fire point for the what is, right? There's a one fire point for the fire point or flash point for the one fuel, right? So I will explain, and later you will be able to understand the difference between those flash point and fire point, right? So flash point is the lowest temperature at which liquid fuel release fuel vapor, right? So when we increase the temperature of a fuel, you can see if it is a water, or if we can take any liquid, right? If it is water also, if we increase the temperature, there will be a water vapor, right, in the atmosphere of that about that water liquid, right? So if we consider that fuel, so any sample of fuel, so that also, if we increase the temperature of the fuel sample, that from that sample also there will be a fuel vapor, right? That fuel will be produced fuel vapor. So it will mix with the air, and there will be air fuel mixture, right? So when we increase the temperature up to certain point, with the temperature increases, there will be the vapor of fuel vapor will be increased, right? So that when at one point it can be enough to, if we introduce fire in that vapor of fuel vapor or air fuel vapor mixer, it able to ignite, right? Then that is called flash point, right? Someone is coming. Okay, that is called flash point, or in other words, the lowest temperature at which fuel or oil gives enough vapor. We can say it as that if we introduce flame into that atmosphere of that sample, there will be enough vapor, fuel vapor and air mixer, right? Enough fuel vapor for to ignite, right? Then that will be, there will be ignition also. Then that will call it as flash point of that particular fuel, right? So it will vary according to the fuel, right? So okay, 23. So that is call it as that we call as flash point. So in that flash point, just introducing a flame into that atmosphere of the sample, we can find out that there will be a ignition, and ignition with the sound pop, right? There's a sound pop and ignition. That ignition is like blue color flame, right? Blue color flame, not yellow color flame. There will be one within a 1 second. There will be a flame and pop sound. That's enough. Then no more flame there, right? That will be flash point, right? So it is very, very low temperature, right? If we want to look at that fire point, that is higher than the flash point, right? Always higher than the flash point. So see what is fire point. The lowest temperature, again, at which the vapor of that fuel will continue to burn. In here, the vapor, fuel vapor and air is, if we introduce flame, then it will not only ignite, it will continue to burn. That is called it as fire point. It is fire, right? The fire will be, there will be a fire. It continuously fire, right? Continuously burn. So that call it as fire point, right? There will be a gap between that flash point and fire point of a certain fuel, right? But here, by using we are using one apparator, and using that apparator, we can derive both. But in your practical, we are going to only derive the, or find out the flash point, because that is very important, right? If you know the flash point, that is very lower than the fire point, right? Flash point is very danger. If you don't know the flash point of certain fuel, it is very danger, right? So at any time it can blast, or it can cause to fire, right? So that is flash point, right? And in other words, fire point, and the second one is fire point is higher than the flash point, right? I already told you, always fire point is higher than the flash point, right? So to find out the flash point or fire point, we only use flammable liquid, right? In here, how we find out the flash point or fire point is to introduce flame, and if there are any ignition, then we will take it as it is. The ignition is below 1 second or some, it is like pops, right? Pop, like pop sound. It is with pop sound and with below 1 second, then we call it as flash point. If it continuously fire, then we can take it as fire point, right? But if it is not flammable liquid or flammable liquid oil, we can't find out. We can't find out, because by introducing the flame only, we are going to find out the flash point of the fuel, right? Therefore, only we can find out the flash point for the flammable fuels, right? So there are a lot of examples: diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, gasoline, and fuel oils, right? Other than this, also there are a lot of petroleum products, right? Those can flame all products. Those can flame, right? Those can cause to flame. So those things we can, if we have sample of those things, we can find out the flash point using this apparatus, right? So these are the things about fire point and flash point. So is anyone, I think you had studied in lecture also. I don't know about that. I think you are clear with now that flash point, right? So if we don't know how to what is flash point, then we there's no point of doing this practical. Then you couldn't able to understand about how we will derive the, or how we will find out. We are going to find out the flash point, right? Therefore, I am telling what is flash point and what is fire point. What are the difference between those flash and fire points, right? And here only this practical is only about flash point, right? So 23 of here. So anyone, if you have any questions, please write it. If please ask, interrupt me and ask anytime, or you can just type into that chat box, right? So I can see, right? So you can ask if you don't understand the fire point of the spin, you can ask. I clearly explain. If you want, I can explain again, right? So it doesn't matter. So we will move the about the apparatus, right? So right, Penske-Martin flash point apparatus, right? Here this is this apparatus for the flash point, right? If you want to find out the fire point also, there will be a apparatus for certain to find out the fire point, right? Here this is for the flash point operator. The name is Penske-Martin, right? Who find out these apparatus, right? So the concept in here, we are introduced that flame. By introducing that flame, we are going to find out the, right, that it is, or it is now it is in flash point temperature. So for that, we are going to increase the, up to that level, we are going to increase the temperature of the sample, right? So now we'll look into this, how we will operate and what are the parts and application of this apparatus, right? So this is a diagram of that Penske-Martin flash point operator. So here you can see that is different from the previous one. These are the apparatus which we are going to do, right? So we have this separator, but I get diagram because then only I can explain to you. So this is you can see here there's a, we call it as cup, test cup, right? Inside of this apparator there will be a test cup which made by the brass, right? So in the test cup there will be a limit. There will be a limit. Up to that limit we are going to, we can remove the test cup, and we are going to, up to that limit we are going to fill with this sample, right? If we are going, if you want to here, according to our practical, we are going to, we need sample of some diesel, then we have to fill the diesel in the test cup, right? So in other words, we can call it as oil chamber, because we will put we will pour the oil in the chamber or oil test cup, right? So that made by the brass, right? So someone joining now, I don't know why. Tamilian. Bangladesh.
Reconnecting, sir.
Sorry.
Network problem reconnecting.
Okay. Now you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So oil chamber or testing cup, right? That is the cup where we will fill the sample, right? So there's a limit, right? There's a limit. Up to that limit, there's a video. Let's by showing playing video also I will explain. So don't worry. So up to that limit, we'll fill that sample, right? There's a certain dimensions for that cup, right? Test cup. So up to that limit, we will fill with the sample. Then there's a cap or lid, we call it that there's a cap to close that cup, right? Test cup. That we call it as cap, or we call it as lid, because there will be 4 different holes, right? 4 different holes, right? Only though there's 4 different holes, only using those holes we can access the test sample after assembly, right? So each hole have certain purpose. So one is for the air passes the air from one hole to one hole. There's a hole to pass the air, right? Certainly it is closed, right? When we increase the temperature, when we heat up the sample, hole will be closed. But if you want to test after increasing certain temperature, if you want to check whether it reaches that flash point or not in the temperature, we have to open and introduce the flame. Then only we can check, no? That time when we open, that time one hole is for, two hole will be open. One is for air passage, to pass the air. Other one is for introduce the flame, right? Then there are other 2 more holes. One is for stator mean the rotating, which have blades and rotating rotating shaft, right? It directly connect with the motor, right? That motor will be rotate, and the stator will be straight or mix the fuel sample, right? So that there will be heat flow will be homogeneous, or for every parts of the sample will heat up homogeneously, right? So that we will mix it while heating. So for that one, other hole is for the temperature, thermometer. You can see we need to find out the exact temperature of the sample, so that if you want to find out the same temperature from outside, we have to somehow fix with the thermometer like this. From one hole, we can, using one hole, we can insert that thermometer, so that from the outside we can measure that, we can find out the sample temperature. Okay. So, and stator for the mix the sample, right? So that other one is flame hole, flame side bed, or we can call it as, in our apparator we have electric heater, right? Electric heater. By using electric current or electric supply, there will be heat that produce flame, right? So we need one flame to introduce and see, to find out the flash point, so that there will be a flame size bed, or we call it as electric heater, right? Electric heater. Say, okay. Then right, in the electric heater there will be a flame in the tip, right? So that will be useful to find out the flash point, right? That would be the flame, right, which we are going to introduce inside that sample, right? Not inside the sample, inside that cup, right? So we are not going to touch with that fuel, but we will introduce that flame into the atmosphere of the fuel, right? Then only that flame will catch the vapor, fuel vapor, right? Then only it will ignite, right? So, and heating device, we need a heating device, heating apartment, right? We have under that cup, right? We have that cup directly, that brass cup directly touch with that heating apartment, right? Heating oil. Then from that heating oil, that sample will get the temperature, get the heat, right? So that's how we will supply the heat, and we will increase the temperature of the sample. So now so then if we are going to find out the flash point of the diesel, we should know there is a limit, right? Approximate, there is a, the flash point may change according to the atmospheric pressure or the pressure of the environment, or for any certain, right? There will be a different right, different there may be change of in chemical component, right, inside that fuel, right? So those things can affect the flash point. So we are not going to get same flash point for every sample, right? So therefore, but we have some range, right? For this diesel, there will be a flash point between 52 and 96. We can say around there will be a flash point 52 and between 52 degree and 96 degrees Celsius. So if we don't know that one, we have to, it is difficult to get, right? Because for every increment of degree Celsius, we have to introduce the flame and check, right? So that if we know that approximate that range where that flash point is, then we can only check that flash point in that particular range. So after that 52 degrees Celsius, we can check introduce flame, and we can check the flash point for each increment of degree Celsius, each one of increment, right, of the temperature. So that it is very important to know that range of the flash point for the fuel, right, that we are going to use. And diesel is stable liquid at normal outer temperature, right? And one of the advantages, outer temperature is, room temperature is around 30 degrees Celsius. So it have more than 52 degrees Celsius, right? That flash point is more than there are room temperature between room temperature and flash point temperature more than 20 degrees Celsius, right? Difference, right? So that it is very stable, right? So that we can keep it in our home or something, right? It is not danger, because the flash point temperature is more than 50, so it is not cause any damage or something, right? But petrol is not like that, right? For the second practical, I will explain. We will discuss about that. Okay. The vaporization rate increases as the temperature increases, right? That is really what is happening, right? Because in 52 degrees Celsius, so we can take it as room temperature also, there will be a vapor in that atmosphere in the of the fuel, right? Because always in whatever temperature there will be a vapor, fuel vapor, but that rate of increasing rate of vaporization will increase with the temperature increases, right? So that in at one temperature it will enough, right? There will be enough vapor fuel to ignite. That will call it as, therefore there will be ignition and flash, right? That call it as flash point. So diesel vapor can ignite and explode with mixed with air, right? So when the flash is occur, that means there will be a ignition, right? That ignition is the reason for the ignition is the vapor, fuel vapor, and the air mixer, right? Okay. I looked what he has some problem, I think, in his device. Okay, then so we will go to the videos, right, and see. Before going to the video, right, please ask if you have any doubts regarding this flashpoint. Right, if you couldn't understood what is flashpoint, then no point of doing this practical, right? So flashpoint is below the fire point, right? Fire point is mean it start to burn, right? That is fire point. That fuel is start to burn. But okay, then so I don't know about video sound is I don't know that much clear or not, but you're going to tell me. If you don't understood, I will explain. I think you all hear the video. Do you all hear the video? This is this is this is our operator, right? Benzene Martin flash point operator, right? So these operators, you can see it is a little bit different from that diagram, right? But those parts are same, right? Inside this is the cup, you can see, and this is under this mountain. You can see there's a heat shield, right? That we call it as heating apartment, right? So after filling that sample, we will fix this that cup into the heating apartment, right? By accidentally I explained it as copper, but it is made by brass, right? Not copper. So these are brass. Okay. There's a level, right, to fill that sample. Right? If we exceed that level, we should remove. Right? If we exceed that level, we should remove. Otherwise, it causes some dangerous, right? Dangerous to while practical. While practical, it can burn or it can blast, right? Because there's a limit. We are introducing fire also, right? If we exceed that limit, it can touch that flame. That fuel sample can touch with the flame. So that is a danger. So we should fill up to that level. Okay, sorry for that. We couldn't hear the sound of video, but I think you can, you all hear me, right? What I am saying, right? Then I will explain it. That I think that the video is not clear. That sorry, the audio of that video, what I am playing here, it is not clear, that audio that much. So I am explaining. Don't worry. Then this is a cup, right? I explained before, no, that cup, right? Testing cup where we fill the sample fuel, right? And we have to fill the sample here, and there's a limit line, right? Up to that line, we should fill the sample, right? Then after filling that sample, we have to but in here we are going to do the experiment for the diesel, so that we have diesel, so we will fill by up to that limit using diesel sample we have filled already. Okay, by using this lid we are going to close that cup, right? There's something to understand. Oh, okay, I will explain about the lid, that cup, right? You can see there's a straight, or there's a two blade with that shaft, right? That will, that's used to mix the, while rotating that, it will mix this sample, right? Sample fuel, right? Right? As shown in this video, we have to close the lid or that cap of the cup, right? Right. After closing this one, there's a one hole. This is to fix the thermometer, right? If you fix thermometer here, that thermometer point will be touch with that fuel sample. Then from the outside we can identify the temperature of the sample. Okay. You can see there's a black heat shield, right? Then when the brass cup contact with that heating shield, then heat can be transferred through that cup to uh, sample, right? That's how we will heat up the sample. Now we have finally we have to fill with the sample, and we have to fish the cup, right, on the operator, right? And then after fixing this cup, we have to fix this motor part, right? This part is, we should there will be a shaft will want to rotate now. Therefore, there's a motor in that part, so we can connect with that shaft into that this motor. Then after starting that one, when we start this operator, that will automatically rotate this motor, and the stator will be mix the sample. Okay. right? Other one is, this one is in I am holding in my hand. This one is heating oil. I already told you. There's electric wire that will connect with the heating coil, right? There's a lot of videos. So wait. Here I'll explain how we are going to, while increase the temperature of the sample, right? For every increment of temperature for by 1 degree Celsius or 2 degrees Celsius, we have to introduce a flame and check. So here I'm holding in my hand is heating oil, right? Heating oil, right? By supplying this, there's a switch in our operator. So if we on switch on, there will be there will be heat flame on this electric heater. Then we can introduce using this lever, right? We don't need to introduce by a hand. We can fix it, and there's a lever. By using moving by the lever, we can introduce, right? I will show you. See, now I am fixing thermometer and motor and the electric heater. This is how we then thermometer will be touched with that sample, so that from the outside we can see the temperature of the sample. Right? Now you can see that the motor shaft and the stator shaft will be connected using that plastic uh, shaft or something. So then if we start the motor, then it will mix the sample. Now I have to fix the electric heater, right? I have to fix the electric heater. There's a holder to hold the electric heater. So this is the electric heater. This is there will be a flame right here. If we switch on the electric heater, then there will be flame, right? Then after mixing here, we can introduce the flame into the sample. Right now you can see how we will introduce the flame and check, right? Manually we can't, right? It is difficult in every time we are introducing and take out and introducing for every increment of the every increment of 1 degree Celsius. We have to introduce and see whether it reaches that flash point or not. So that the if we fix this that prop electric heater to that part, then using this lever, the black lever, directly we can in every degree Celsius increment we can introduce a frame and see, right? So this is how we operate these apparatus. Right? I think have you understand anything? So I'll ask randomly. I will ask. Please type your index number in the chat box. Type your index number in the chatting box, so I can. So first one is Harry Onson. Harry Onson, do you hear me? Harry Onson. Harry Onson, you have to talk to me, right? If you ask someone, you should talk to me, right? So if you can't talk or something, you can message me. So otherwise, you can stay like a robot, and you can write it and submit, and that is not the way how we learn something, right? So if you don't understand, doesn't matter, right? You should ask, right? I told you to at least write the questions what you don't understood, right? You can write it in the chat box. So I think so sir can't hear the sound. Someone wrote Siam wrote, I think. Okay, I wrote that one. So Gayasan, 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 how are you? Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Mundagar.
Mundagal. Okay. Then did you understand anything? We are not completed this practical. So I just explain about that apparatus, that Pensky Martin apparatus, right? What we use, which we use to identify the flash point. So do you understood what is flash point? Did you study in the lecture? Gaya-san, I am asking you. Gaya-san?
Sir, got it little.
Why just please ask, right? Don't need to be afraid of something, anything, right? Never afraid to ask something, right? Which you don't know, right? So it is better to ask, right? So just fire point is just the below temperature which fuel can be get fire, right? That is fire point, but it is very low temperature, right? Below that fire point, if we introduce flame or something, it won't never get fire, never get burned. That is a point, right? At when it reach the flash point, it can flash, not fire. It can continuously fire, burn, but it can just ignite and flash, right? Within 1 second. So then that is called it as flash point. Then after that, if we increase further the temperature of after increase if we increase the temperature further, what will happen is it will reach up to fire point. In that point, if we introduce fire, what will happen is it start to burn continuously, right? It will burn, then there will be no stop. So then that's very dangerous. So that if we between that flash point and fire point, there will be only flashes, right? Only flash, right? There may be a flash or ignition, but there will be no continuous burn, right? So that when it start to flash, that below the minimum temperature which fuel can be flash or ignite, right? For below for 1 second, right? So that call it as flash point, right? So we have video. So I will show you that we found out that we fire point of that diesel, right? Okay. So Mendis, do you hear me? ET 58. Mendis? Mendes, do you hear me? Mendes? I think, okay, you should talk, right? At least you can talk, don't need to afraid of, right? Any afraid of, don't, never be afraid of anything, right? Just talk. So, Umayanga, Umayanga, do you hear me? (099) index number or race number. ET 099. Umayanga, understood? Do you understood that flash point and those things? Umayanga, why you are not talking? Then if you don't talk, I will just leave you. It's no point of keep you in this class, in this session, right? Now, why you are not talking? Then I will. I should have Viva or something, right? Then I will ask this question after session, and then I will give you marks according to that. Right? Then that's what I can do, right? If you don't talk, right? So everyone should talk. I don't know what to say. If you have, you can just hold like act like you don't have network. You have network problem or something, right? That is not the way, because you are university students. So it is not. It is not the way you are acting, right? So acting or you are behaving. So behave like university students. So we have image like that, right? So about you. So you should respond to our questions, right? Otherwise, no point of asking. Then I will have like Viva session for the next Monday, I think. Then if we had Viva session, what will happen is for the after practical session next Monday. So I will ask, that is also about flashpoint, but then I will ask one by one. I will have some question, ask and give marks. Then don't need to need to write any report or something. Then you will get marks according to the Viva. Or other way, you can write report also. Then partial marks, let's say half of the marks for the report and half of the marks for the Viva. Then I think it should be convenient for you. So who is Madhusan? Madhusan, do you hear me? 053.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So where are you from?
Colombo.
Colombo, okay, very good. So tell me, did you understood that flash point of fire point of the fuel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So for from the next week onwards, we will have some discussion or something, right? Like Viva or something. At least participants should have some advantages over non-participants, right? I think. So then I'll ask after practical session. I will ask some at least 1 or 2 questions to each of you. So then now I will ask the volunteer, and I will ask question. You came and answer. Then if who is going to answer first? If you answer first, then you will get more marks. So you will get additional marks or something, right? Then I should do something like that, because I couldn't get a response from most of you. I don't know. So it doesn't matter if whether you understood or not. Just tell me and ask, right? So let's move to the practical. So after that, I will talk about these things further. So now you know how it operates. That apparatus is how it is operate, and how we can measure the flash point of the fuel, diesel fuel. So start the testing. What we are now, we already loaded the samples and everything. We have fixed thermometer and everything, and we can start now. So we have to supply the power. Right. After switch on the power, then you can see there is a main power, right? That it will blink, right? And there's a 3 button and one control switch, right? So this control switch is for the heating control, right? If we rotate this control further, there's a number of up to 1 to 10. So this will, if we increase this number, what will happen is it increases the heating ratio, right? If we know that now this diesel fuel temperature is sample temperature is room temperature 30 degrees Celsius, but we know that it is the flash point is more than 52 degrees Celsius, right? This flash point is between 52 to 96. Then after 52, we can increase very quickly, right? If you want to serve time. So then we can initially increase the heating ratio up to 9 or 6. Then it will quickly, within a minute or 2 minutes, that sample will get to heat up to the near temperature of that flash point. Later we have to reduce the heating ratio, right? So that for every increment of every degree Celsius increment of the sample, we have to check. Therefore, we have to reduce the heating ratio, and by looking the thermometer for the every degree changes, we have to introduce the flame and check, right? Now you can see if we turn on this the motor switch run, then it will run. Right? Motor will be run, and that stator will be rotated, and there will that motor trying to mix the sample, right? Then other switch is test button, right? If we switch on the press the test button, what will happen is that heat will flow and that flow to that heater, right? The heating coil, and there will be a flame on the top of the heating coil, right? Then after switch on that heater, we can, by moving that lever, we can introduce the flame. This video, we couldn't see through this video, so I will show you the video. Here you can see how we introduce the flame. Inside I will show. Okay, now you will see the flash point of the of the diesel fuel, right? Now the temperature is 79 degrees Celsius, right? Up to 79 degrees Celsius. Up to that point, we just increase by 2 degrees Celsius, by the 2 degrees Celsius, like that. Then we have to for each increment of the temperature, we checked, right, one by one, and we came up to 79 degrees Celsius to find out the flash point. No, so now the temperature is 79 degrees Celsius. So we'll introduce the fire, right? Flame to that fuel sample atmosphere and check. When you move the lever, it will automatically on and open and go into the cup. Right? Did you hear that? Right. If you hear that sound,
No, sir.
again, I'll. Right. Okay. Did you hear anyone?
No, sir.
No, you couldn't hear any sound.
No, sir. Can't hear.
You couldn't hear any sound from video.
No, sir. Video also lagging. No, sir.
What is it? So while I playing video, no one hear any sound from the video.
Yes, no sound, sir.
So okay, I think. Now yes. So I'm going to introduce the fire inside the cup. Did you hear anyone?
No, okay.
Now okay, thank you. Sorry, there's a setting for that. I don't. I thought you are hearing sound from videos. Okay, sorry for that. So here, just look again. There's a pop sound and there's a ignition, right? Flash only. After that, there will be no fire or no burning, right? Just look at that. Now it is 79 degrees Celsius. We'll check it again. So I'm going to introduce the fire inside the cup. You hear that sound and the fire, I think that is pop sound. So this is the flash point of the diesel. So we get it at 79 degrees Celsius. So because of this environment and the contamination of this diesel sample, this flash point varies between 50 to 90 degrees Celsius. So we will get flash point for this sample at 79 degrees Celsius. So this is the outcome of this practical, right? So if we according to the contamination of the sample, or there will be chemical changes, component changes in that fuels, right, in every fuel. So that according to that, or according to the atmosphere pressure and temperature, those things also influence in the flash point of the sample, right, the diesel fuel, diesel sample. So for our samples, we get it as 79 degrees Celsius. So I think you all here, but what will happen is, further I increase, right? Further we increase the temperature more than 79 degrees Celsius and find out what is the difference, right? What is the difference, and we try to find out we just increased and try to find out the fire point of the diesel, right? Then we found, right? I saw it in other video. So see, in here also there will be a small sound, but it is not like the flash point, right, pop sound, but it is very low sound, and there will be a flame continuously more than 1 to 2 seconds, you can see. So that is not flash point, that is, I think that is in the fire point. You can see still there is a blue color flame, right? And it is just below, just up to that flash point, right? Point of that flash point, it's like 90 degrees Celsius or something. Okay, we get. So, but we get from that, we first get that flash at 79 degrees Celsius. So we make sure we can say that that is the flash point. And from that sound also, sound and the flash, right, what we observe, we can say it is the flash point of that diesel fuel. Okay, so that we got from this experiment. So if you don't talk, I didn't understand. I didn't know. You didn't hear any sound from videos. I don't know, right? That's why I told you to talk, right? At least someone just should talk, right? Because we are new to this type of medium, the virtual medium, right? So right, so we know our flash point is between 52 and 96 degrees Celsius. So we found it out at 79 degrees Celsius. So Does anyone know what is the flash point for the petrol, which we are going to do next, right? Does anyone know? Does anyone know, or at least the range or something? I think you all know. You don't know. Then doesn't matter. But the problem is, petrol have the flash point below the room temperature, right? Below the room temperature. That means below 30 degrees Celsius or 25 degrees Celsius, right? That means if we introduce the fire in room temperature, right? If you take some sample of petrol and if you introduce fire, what will happen? It's already in above the flash point temperature, right? It's already in above the temperature of flash point. So what will happen? It will burn, right? So therefore, it is difficult to find out the flash point for the petrol, right? Because petrol has lower flash point than the room temperature. So that is difficult for the next practical. So, but somehow we did, and yeah, we didn't find out the flash point, but we recorded video what is happening, right? When we introduce the fire in that room temperature, we did and see what is happening. So from that, for the next Monday, you will see that video. And I will somehow I've divided into two reports, right? Two sessions. I have divided into two now, so that for the next week we will look into that, go into that application of this flash point, those things. And so this practical is about flash point, find out the flash point of the diesel fuel. So I think I already explained about how to find out using Fancy Martin apparatus. So do you have, and there are some questions I took more than that discussion part, so that you can write in your lab report, right? Because otherwise there's just two questions in the lab sheet, so that it is not enough to give marks for. Right? If you have at least you have to write something to give marks, so that I took two more questions, right? So this is where for this one is lab report writing. This is for your lab report writing, right? So here you don't have any calculation or graph or any observation for this session. Okay, for later after this, after practical number 3, you will get those things. Then don't worry about that. So for this one, you had to write down the theory, right? Theory, we just studied about flash point and fire point now. So those are the theory, right? You had to write down the theory and discuss the result, right? Results mean we got the flash point at 79 degrees Celsius. You can discuss why it is. We found that it at 79 degrees Celsius. Why it can be lower, why it is not lower than that, or why it is not higher than that? Why it is our results varies between 52 to 96 degrees Celsius? Why it is varying? Those things you have to discuss. In that, discuss the results. The second question, right? First one is not question. That is just writing the theory, right? So other one, the second one is the first question. Discuss the results, right? I'll write this. So First one is discuss the result. Second one is discuss about auto ignition temperature. Why I am asking to discuss about auto ignition here is someone can confuse with flash point and auto ignition temperature. And someone you may confuse with those things, right? It is very higher than those flash and fire point. When you're searching in and find out and writing this, what is auto ignition temperature? And while you are writing auto ignition temperature, you can give some example, right? Like if we do diesel, we get flash point 79 degrees Celsius. Fire point is like 100 or something. You can write. You can get from that, right? You can get the range, right? Approximate fire point. So then auto ignition temperature of the diesel, it is 200 more than 200 degrees Celsius. Then you can identify flash point, fire point, auto ignition temperature. Then what is auto ignition temperature? You can write it. Okay. Then you can differentiate those things correctly, right? Then you will never get confused within those things, right? So the last question is explain about spontaneous ignition, right? Spontaneous ignition means that you have to search from internet and write, right? That's very simple one. But the term spontaneous, it may difficult to you, but that is not that much difficult. Just you can Google it and get it. Okay. Then this is your lab report. Somehow I managed to get you to do something so that I can give marks. So that I gave this, I get these questions and I explain to you. So these questions are not in that lab sheet. I think two of these questions in the lab sheet, one and two. So the discussion and other than I added one, the spontaneous ignition, right? So please write it and note it down. So please note it down. Or you can take a photo if you are attending this session with laptop, then you can use mobile phone and take a photo. That is enough. So when I am giving some work or ask you to write something or ask you to submit the lab report, right, like this or like that, then you should write like that, right? Then only you will get, right? You will completed this practical or this session well. Okay. So that I will expect from your lab report. So that is thing. And about this flash point, fire point, those things, you can just, I think you all given in that lab sheet also, in the lab session also, in the lecture session also, the lecture will cover this thing. I think, I don't know. You have covered jet, you couldn't have a right. I don't know, but it's a very simple thing. So I explained well, I think. So I will. So if you. So there are 25 people. Okay, then we will ask questions one by one. So for the next session, remember, right? If you respond well, then I don't need to ask Viva or something, give marks. If that is if it is difficult to you, then your response is the answer for that, right? If you're not responding, I will from the next week, the next practical onwards, I will allocate some time for that, and after finishing that session, I will just ask write the index number and ask one by one and give marks. Okay, it is up to you. I don't know. So please, if anyone didn't understand, please ask questions. Please write it, at least write this question in your text box, okay, chat box. So 077 Ranamuka, am I right? Ranamuka, do you hear me? Zero 77. I still here. Then I will note it as absent. Right? You are not responding, no? Then what I can do is just put absent. Okay. Ranamuka, right? If you have any problem, you can contact me. Okay. Then next one is 058. I still here, Mendis. I already called you right before. Mendis, do you hear me? Oh, you are not here. No answer. Then he is also absent. Then Tenakon 096.
Yes, sir.
You are here. Okay, well. Then Tenakon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you what is the flash point temperature we get for the diesel? We had done for the diesel, no? Tenakon. Yeah, where are you? I explain now. Is it 79 degrees Celsius or no? Pentagon
52 and 96.
96, yeah, between 52 and 96. Very good. That is the range to that fire flash point for the diesel, right? And diesel is according to the.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Tell me.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who is speaking? Mendis, you put sir
Hello.
here. Yeah, who is speaking?
Hello, 58, sir.
58. Okay. I called you, but you are not response in that time. Why?
Sir, I in the connection load, sir, I think.
Okay. Yeah, Mendis also put sir here. I don't know. Okay, then it's fine. So did you understood the 058? Did you understood the what is flash point?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you understood, right? Then what do you think about the flash point of that petrol? It is below the room temperature or not? Or higher than the room temperature?
Higher than no.
The flash point of the petrol, I am asking, petrol, not diesel.
Lower than, sir.
Lower than, right? So below that room temperature, right? I think if you search in the net, you will get around 20 degrees Celsius or something, right? The flash point of the petrol, but we had done for the diesel, right? So diesel is above 52 degrees Celsius. So now you all understood, and 58, okay, you okay? And 96, I ask you something, right? 92, 96.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I ask you to what is the flash point we found out for that diesel? It is between 52 and 96.
96.
Yeah. In our practical, what we got for this flash point? You didn't remember, or you are not attended, I think. Okay, tell me next one. I will ask. You are still here. Stay there. So Payat 022. Payat, hi there. Payat. 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 Okay, you are absent then. Okay, then Midusan 059. Midusan, are you there? Midusan, yeah, are you there? What are you doing then? Midusan?
Yes.
Yeah. Then tell me what we got as flashpoint for the diesel.
Between 125.
No. I am asking, in our practical we had done, we had find out that flashpoint for the diesel, no?
Yes, sir.
In that video, what temperature we get it as a flashpoint? I explained, no? While explain, I told you, no? Don't you remember? Then you are not in that practical, I think. You are not continuously in this practical, I think. You are doing something else. I don't know. Okay, then I'll take like that. Okay, then ask someone.
Sir, 50 to 96.
Yeah, that is the range, right?
Yes, sir.
Between that between that range, there will be a one temperature for that flashpoint, right? Then we found it as something. I think ask someone, find out. Okay, good. 027. Okay, good. I
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah, then
Yes, sir.
what is the fire point we found?
96.
96. Is it 96? We found it as. Then you also not there. Okay, Herat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me what is the 5 point we found for the diesel fuel?
Diesel 96, sir. 52 to 96. Range.
Yeah, that is a range, no? But in our practical, while doing the practical, we found that the flashing temperature, we found it in one temperature, at one temperature. I am asking that temperature.
94.
No. Just still there was something else, I think. Found Prema Ratne 074. Prem Ratna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you still here for that while doing this practical all the time? You are here.
Yes, sir.
Then tell me what is the flash point we found for the diesel?
59.
No. Yeah, not. I think I am not clear or something. So Aditvat 0.
Yes,
02. So then same question. What is the fire point we found for the diesel sample in our sample?
not sure, sir, but I remember like 72.
70 something, right?
72.
No. You are near that the temperature. That's fine. That means you were there, right? You are listening. Okay, that's fine. Okay, then Mike got some error or something. They put that. Okay, I don't know. My sound is not clear or something. If it is not clear, please put some message or please tell me, right? Okay. Then Laksan 048. Lakshan, do you hear? Lakshan,
Yes, sir.
then Lakshan, what we found as a flash point for the diesel fuel?
74.
74. Okay. I think you also you there. You hear, but you forget. That doesn't matter. No, you are near to the temperature anyway. 0.48. Next one 08 Bandara. Bandara, are you there? Bandara, do you know that what is the temperature for the diesel fuel? Flash point temperature.
78, sir.
78. You are near, very near. Okay. Then it's fine. 099. Umayanga.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you know what is the temperature we found as flash point for the diesel?
75.
75. Okay. Madhusan? Madhusan, do you hear?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is the temperature?
77.
Not correct. 92. Sugatapala. 92. Do you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
do
sir.
you know the temperature?
I think 77 or 78.
Yeah, you're near to that. Okay, that's nice. Siam, do you hear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you know the
Yes, sir.
temperature? Do you know the temperature which we found as flash point for the diesel?
77, sir.
77. Okay. 0.55. 0.55. Hey, do you know the temperature?
79.
79. Very good. Very good. I will note it you. Okay. Okay. That is 79 degrees Celsius. We found it found it from our experiment, right? In that video I explained, and while playing videos I have told you that. Now you all remember it. It is 79 degrees Celsius. Okay, that doesn't matter. I just check whether you are listening all the way or not, right? Okay, then after 55. 0.47. 0.47. Lagruan.
Yes.
Lagruan, where are you from?
I am from Nooreli, sir.
Nooreli. Okay. Then Lagruan, do you tell me what is the difference between that flash point and fire point? What do you think that is different? And which is higher than which one? Do you think? At least tell me which one is higher than which one.
Difference, sir.
At least tell me which fire point or flash point. I'm asking what is the difference between fire point and flash point. Right? Here we are testing flash point now. But I explained in that theory, I explained both fire point and flash point. Right? Then tell me at least one difference, or at least which is higher than which one.
Fire point is higher than flash point.
Yeah, okay. You got it, I think. Okay, then 0.44. Kumar, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Now you all are alert, right? Okay, that's good. Then Kumar, do you understood this practical?
Yes, sir.
So can we which type of liquid we can use to find out this fire point, those things? What is the condition for that? We are using diesel to find out the flash point, right? We are using petrol, we are using kerosene or something, right? What is the condition of those things? Zero 44. Kumara.
Yes, sir. I understood, sir, but I can't explain.
Yeah, okay. Then it should be that flammable fuels, right? Flammable object, flammable liquids, right? If because we are introducing flame and find out the flash point, right? If it is not flammable liquid or something, some oil can't be flamed, right? Some oil it is fuel oil. We call it as fuel oil, right? It also can burn, right? Then those things only we can use to find out the flash point, right? If it is not burning, then we don't need to look into that flash point or something, right? Because why we are checking the flash point is for the safety, right? For the safety, right? If you please mute your mics. Everyone, please mute your mic. Someone talking, right? So why we are trying to find out the flash point is to, if you want to transport oil or something, if you take that petroleum product, it is kept into some tanks or something, and sometimes it may transport in one place to other place, right? Then it goes into under different conditions of environment, different temperatures. Then if we don't know that flash point, if it is somehow increase that reach that flash point, then it goes to blast or something, right? That is why the fire and occurs in factories and in petroleum factories or something, right? So that if we kept if we know that flash point, then we can keep that petroleum products below that flash point, right, temperature, so that it is safe. It is safe, right? So that is it. And 024 Gajansen. I already told you, I think. Gajansen. Gajansen, do you hear me? Gajansen? Okay, the answer is not answer. Okay, 018. 018, who is 018?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is your name?
Disanayak, sir.
Disanaika. So tell me, Disanaika, so if we introduce the flame to that vapor, right? Environment to that, if we are keeping fuel sample somewhere else, but
Yes.
yeah, we are introducing flame on above that fuel sample, but it is continuously burning. Yeah. Then that is the temperature is called it as what?
That's 5 point.
Fire point, because it's firing, right?
Yeah.
Not flash, right? Flash means just like
Flash mean that's when brought in the contact with the flame, just fire.
yeah, they just below 1 second. It is like pop, yeah. It is like flashing, right? Do you know what is flash, right?
Yeah.
It's like blink like that. It is flash, right? So if it is continuously firing, that means it reaches to the fire point, right? Then flash point is very low than the fire point. When we can't get this fire point, right? That is the point. If we want to get the flash point, we have to reduce the temperature from that level.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So 070. Pereira.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Where are you from? Pereira.
Uttram district.
Okay. Then, so do you understand this practical?
Yes, sir.
But at least you don't have any hands-on experience. But if you are given apparatus and samples, you able to do some. You can able to do and find out the placement of the sample, I think, if you are given apparatus and everything, right? So that that is outcome. And at least you should we have to complete the objective. And other than that, you should at least understand the practical application of knowing these things, right? If you are using find out flash point or something, why we are find out this flash point, what is the purpose, right? You should ask those questions in every situation, right? Just knowing, okay, flash point, this is flash point, this is fire point, then we can find out like this, we can use this apparatus to find out. That is not good for your life or for your industry, right? You just start why we are using this one. Okay, flash point, we can find out using this apparatus, why we use this, what is the purpose, right? Okay, tell me one purpose of find out this flash point.
By mistake, we have to find the working temperature.
Yeah.
Then I think
it is like application, right? Next practical session I will explain deeply. Other than the safety, right? By knowing this flash point, we can found out the quality of the oil also, right? That is also one purpose. And if it is not the quality of oil is not good, mean that there will be a change, right? There will be contamination or something that will change the flash point. So by measuring flash point, we can check the quality of oil, right? Oil quality. Like that, there are different applications to derive this, to find out this flash point, right? I just ask you, right? And the big application is to keep it and keep it safety, right? Safety purpose, right? If we are if that fuel is not increased, that fuel temperature is not increased up to that flash point, then that is safety, right? So okay, that is one. Okay, then okay. Zero 94. Who is that one?
Yes, sir.
What's the name?
Tamilanian.
Tamilanian. Okay, you are where from? You are from Jaffna or something?
Kilnaji.
Where? Sorry.
Kilnaji.
Okay. Tell me. Yeah. Tell me why we use that brass, that cup, right? Where we kept that sample, right? That cup made by that brass, right? It is like copper material color. It's brass, right? Why it is like brass? Tell me why it is made by brass.
Thermal conductivity.
Yeah. Thermal conductivity is high or low?
High.
Right, then we can easily heat up the sample, right? Okay, very good. So next one, 038. Karyonsam. Are you there? Karyonsam? Then you already talked to me, I think. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 24, right? Right, okay, 24. I think one is left already. So this is our practical session. So please write it down. Then never say I don't know. It is lab report is like that or like this, right? If it is not follow these things, right? Then you will lose marks, right? I don't want to lose marks. I don't want you to lose marks. So please note it down. These are the content for your lab report, right? Theory, discuss the results, discuss about the autoignition temperature and spontaneous ignition, right? Those things, autoignition and spontaneous, we can get from that Google. Okay. Who is Kaminder? Can you hear me now? Is everyone couldn't hear me? Okay. I just told you all that our content of the lab report, your lab report, right? So I think today 4 p.m. is the last day for your previous practical, first practical, and you should mention, you should submit before due date. Yeah, your mic is not working, then that is your problem. Okay, but and for the second practical, same as why this you have 1 week like that. For your practical, you will have 1 week. So please submit before due date, and it will help you to get high marks. Okay. So and please keep my instruction, and please write your lab report according to my explanation and what I am asking you to write, right? Because these are the things you have to include in your lab report, right? So I think you all write it down. Okay, if you don't, you will have video YouTube, and you can go and play the video and get these things. Okay, I don't know. So yeah, you can't talk. You are saying okay, no problem. Come in the 038. Okay, it is doesn't matter, no problem. Okay, so from the to the next week you should talk. I will mark you. Okay, I'll ask you first. Okay, so don't worry. So this is end of this practical session. So now I'll give you 5 minutes, right? If you have any doubt, just write down the question in the chat box. I will, or you can unmute and ask me directly. It is time to discuss, right? I gave you five minutes to ask anything, right? If you can, any doubt or any clarification or regarding this session or previous session or previous lab reports or this regarding writing this lab report for this session or something, you can ask this. Okay, now, right? I think I all explain everything, but if anyone wouldn't understood or something, you can ask. So do you all understood? Do you all are clear with this session and about writing lab report?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you all are fine. Then we can wind up this session here. Okay, very good. Thank you. I just need your response. That's enough. Okay. So will you upload the instructor video? Yes. I will upload it, and just as before the first practical, I will just upload it and upload in our YouTube channel, and there will be a link in the LMS, right? Below this LMS, there's a folder and link for our this practical number 2, like that. And in that link, below that link, you will get link of the YouTube. Then from that, by clicking that link, you can access this video from YouTube, right? So that's it. I think you all clear. You all are good, and mm, you all are clear with my instructions. So it is. I hope you do. I hope you all upload the first practical and this practical before due date. So submit before due date, and we can thank you for participating. And same as today, please for the next practical also, please come on time, right? Come on time so that we can miss it quickly, right? So thank you very much. Thank you for participating. Thank you very much.